First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A unanimous vote by the Alachua County School Board on Tuesday finalized the closure of Waldo Community School, and now preparations are underway to move the entire student body. Good evening, it's Thursday, May 21st. I'm Molly Robinson.
And I'm David Jolly. Thanks for joining us. There was a meeting today to begin that process. Jonathan Munoz joins us now in the studio. Jonathan, you got a chance to talk to both principals.
That's right. I was able to talk to both the Shell Elementary and the Waldo Community principals this morning. I was able to catch them both right after they had finished a meeting about plans to put into action the consolidation of not just 2 schools, but 2 communities. This morning, the principals of Waldo Community School and Shell Elementary School met in the first of many meetings, where the future of both schools will be discussed, now that the closure of Waldo is a sure thing.
We're actually working together today to try and figure out, where classrooms will go and the equipment that we'll need, working on personnel issues just to try and get this planning process started.
Libby Hartwell is currently the principal at both Shell Elementary and Hawthorne Middle High School. Once the school year ends, Waldo principal Holly Burton will take over as Shell principal.
All of the teachers that are coming here with us have chosen to do so and are very excited about the transition and being able to meet new students that are Hawthorne students, and also being able to transition over with the current Waldo student.
And while both Burton and Hartwell know that many Waldo residents are upset, they want to assure everyone that this won't just be a shift, rather a unification. The transition will move Burton at least 5 teachers and possibly 200 students from Waldo Community School to Shell Elementary here in Hawthorne, where school officials here hope to unite both communities.
We're excited about having the Waldo teachers come too. It's very important to the teachers at Shell and the Shell community that we keep their traditions alive. We want, Waldo has things that they do, the fall festival or those type things. We want to make sure that Waldo's traditions and Shell's traditions are blended. We don't want anybody to get lost in that mix.
The transition will be done this summer, and starting this upcoming school year, the 2 schools will become one.
Awesome. Thanks, Jonathan. 2 new Gainesville City Commissioners were sworn in this afternoon. Charles Gostin and Harvey Budd will be fresh voices on the City Commission, but both men have decades of business experience. Gostin aims to improve the East Side by lowering utility bills, steering business investments, and improving neighborhoods. Budd is focused on helping people get to the middle class economically while encouraging equal opportunity.
I think there are ways to protect the community that weren't being used before, and I've got some really good ideas. Even though we have a light agenda, I will be able to make some great recommendations just for the few items we've got on the agenda today.
I'm just a person who is dedicated to what he has to do, which we never had that in District 1, see? And that's the beauty of it.
Gostin and Budd began their duties immediately with the afternoon City Commission meeting.
Jacksonville, Detroit, and New Orleans are among the cities making headlines as the Census Bureau releases its 2014 city population estimates. The Big Apple is still the biggest U.S. city and at 8.4 million has twice as many people as number 2 Los Angeles. The biggest city that lost population from 2013 to 2014 was Detroit, continuing a trend. In contrast, New Orleans has been growing and made it back to the top 50 for the first time since Katrina. Florida Governor Rick Scott's office today tweeted about Jacksonville moving up to 12th. Keep in mind, this is not by metro area where the Tampa and Miami areas grew more, but just within city limits. Jax added the most people of any Florida city. Gainesville added 1,300, and though most of the growth in Marion County is outside Ocala city limits, the city itself grew by 500 people.
Well, afternoon showers have been abundant the past couple days in North Central Florida.
The weather team has been keeping a close eye on radar to see if that trend will continue today. UF forecaster Brittany Van Voorhees joins us now in the Weather Center. Brittany, what should we expect showers in Alachua County tonight?
You know, Molly, we can't rule out an isolated shower in Alachua County tonight, but the majority-wise, I'm going to say no. Right now, currently on storm track radar, we see a small cell in southern portions of Lafayette County, and then in Gilchrist and just over the line into Gilchrist and Alachua County. Gorgeous day over the University of Florida campus. Today's high 94 degrees in Gainesville. Current temperature in Gainesville 62 degrees. 88 over in Daytona Beach and 91 down in Ocala. Your hour by hour for tonight, 89 degrees by 6 p.m. Clouds will keep us insulated tonight, only dropping down to 72 by 2 a.m. and those rain chances start to filter out right around 8 p.m. Coming up in my full weather forecast, I'll let you know what to expect for Memorial Day weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Brittany. Gainesville could get a second downtown hotel.
And the proposal has caught the attention of many local business owners. WUFT's Renee Beninati joins us now live in the newsroom with their reaction.
We're talking about a significant hotel and more, a 12-story hotel and a mixed-use complex that would also have office space. The City Commission is very interested, and despite some concerns about parking and location, the redevelopment idea is welcome news to other downtown interests.
A parking lot in downtown Gainesville could become home to a new 12-story hotel. The building would be Gainesville's tallest yet and would also include a restaurant and office space. The developer's proposal says it would likely be an Embassy Suites hotel and perhaps a Ruth Chris steakhouse. Many downtown businesses would welcome the addition.
I think that it would be fantastic to have our sort of cafe directly across from a nicer hotel like that. I think it could only be an incredible benefit for not only Volta but for all of the businesses and restaurants downtown.
However, some business owners are a little skeptical of the scope of this project.
We need more shots in the arm here in this community to get things rolling again, but I don't know, I have mixed feelings. I'm always a little bit leery of new development.
Jim Roush says major construction downtown tends to steer regulars away, and parking can be a concern in bringing people back.
At the City Commission meeting this morning, other people brought up the issue of downtown parking and losing a lot so close to Main Street. But the Commission wants to pursue the idea and see where the negotiations lead. Reporting from the newsroom, Renee Beninati, WUFT News.
Thanks, Renee. Well, Gainesville firefighters called to a car fire this morning found a victim inside. An SUV was found burning in the 3600 block of Southwest 47th Avenue. When firefighters extinguished the 12-foot-high flames, they found a victim on the driver's side of the car. Officials are trying to determine the cause of the fire, the identity of the victim, and the cause of death. Video released by the Tampa Police Department shows a carjacking in broad daylight at a gas station. A driver stopped to fill up his car yesterday afternoon. As he stepped away to pay for gas, two men walked up to the car and one climbed into the driver's seat. The owner tried to stop the thief by throwing a trash can at the windshield, but the thief tried to run him over. Security video shows the owner clinging to the hood of the car while the carjacker speeds off. When he eventually falls off, the carjacker and his accomplice drive away. The owner of the car was not injured, and the thieves have not been found.
With a special session on the budget looming, Florida may get half the money it wants for hospital care for the poor and uninsured. The side deal for low-income pool or LIP funding is expiring, and the feds want to wean Florida off that while convincing the state to expand Medicaid. But in a new letter, the feds say Florida can count on getting $1 billion in LIP funding, half the current amount, for one more year. That would close a $4 billion budget gap by $1 billion, and more than $2 billion would close if the state accepts Medicaid expansion. House lawmakers have resisted Medicaid expansion, while the Senate has come around to it, and the governor has evolved from no to yes to no again. Critics say the majority of those added to the Medicaid rolls would be single adults without children, people who could work and pay their own way to health care and health insurance.
Well, the Florida man who landed a gyrocopter at the U.S. Capitol says it's outrageous. The charges could bring him 9.5 years in prison. Yesterday, a federal grand jury indicted 61-year-old Doug Hughes on 6 charges, including 2 felonies. Hughes pled not guilty to the charges today. The mailman says he violated restricted airspace for political speech to deliver his own message about campaign finance reform. Hughes tells NBC News if he doesn't get a reasonable plea offer, he'll make his case before a jury.
And in lighter news, a homeless veteran is working to turn his life around, starting with his graduation. Determination and the hunger for a better life are two things that fuel Robert Renz to keep his nose in the books. Robert is about to graduate from Withlacoochee Technical College in Inverness with a certificate in industrial machinery maintenance and repair. He doesn't have a car, so 5 days a week for an entire year, he's been walking to school, rain or shine. His hard work has paid off with perfect attendance and a 4.0 GPA. He admits some poor choices landed him in this tough spot, but hopes to now turn everything around.
That's awesome. Well, WUFT First at 5 is just getting started. After the break, a late-night legend has signed off for the last time. We'll have more on Letterman's last show coming up.
Plus, a new app on your smartphone is letting users lend their gift of sight to the blind. Those stories and more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.